Hey guys, oh fucking hell, what a way to introduce your video. Hey guys, it is me, Romas, and welcome back to episode, I believe, 39 of Katawa Shoujo. We are literally one away from 40 episodes, and that is an impressive feat if I do say so myself. But in the last episode, I thought we were going to go see Hanako, but we actually had an interesting conversation with Kenji, which was pretty damn funny actually. Like, it was weird, but now I think we're going to go see Hanako, so let's get into that. I stand outside of the door to Hanako's room, hoping that she isn't in too much of a state, as I nervously clutch the worksheets Mewtwo asked me to pass on to her. It's one more reason to visit her, and it gives me something to talk about, so I suppose. I should be thankful for him, for giving me the task. With a long breath to steady myself, I rap my knuckles on the door in front of me. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but I can't hear a thing. I knock on the door again, slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. Scratching my head, I make one last attempt at getting her to answer as I knock on the door one final time. Hanako, it's just me. Mewtwo said to give you some stuff. For a while the attempt seems just as unsuccessful as the last, but before I slip the sheets under the door, though, I hear the handle rattling. Oh, it's Hanako. As the door opens halfway, I quickly try to see how Hanako's faring. It's a task made somewhat more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately so. To be honest, I'd have preferred that to her expression right now. She looks terribly tired and appears to be barely acknowledging my presence. Hi, Hanako. Mewtwo wanted me to give you these since you weren't in class today. I hold out the loose sheets, which she tentatively takes in her hands. The way she moves is devoid of thought. Her posture is slumped in an unusual manner for someone that is so often tense and wound up. Even her eyes keep looking away from mine, doing their best to avoid eye contact. I move my head a little to try and get a better look, but she just ends up turning away. Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I could go get the nurse. It feels almost pitiful to put on such a routine, get well soon act. I can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her though. She seems to collect herself a little bit at the notion, but only a little. Her head remains turned away, but her eyes move toward me. I'm fine. An awkward silence follows as it lingers. I notice that the sleeves on the cuffs of her gown slightly damp stains. Her cheeks are a bit red too. Has she been crying? I see. I hesitate a little before coming out with the words I really came here to say. Would you like me to stay? I don't have anything urgent to do at the moment, so wouldn't be any trouble. Her eyes slide away from me and I lose any hope for an improvement of her mood. I wait for a response, but she doesn't say anything, nor give me any kind of gesture. She just stands there looking away from me. Hanako? She slowly shakes her head. Okay, good night then. With that, Hanako steps back and closes her door without a second word. More than a little worried, I retreat back to my room. Yeah, that's quite concerning actually. Wandering up the hallway, I keep mulling over what happened. It feels like Hanako is only half there, as if I was interacting with a robot that was just doing what it was programmed to do without any real thought. She was the husk of a person. This is frustrating. I had hoped that meeting Hanako would help the situation, but I feel it's only made it harder to understand her. How am I supposed to try and help her when she quite literally shuts me out like that? I don't even bother to turn on the light, opting instead to simply change into my pajamas, quietly choke down evening pills, and collapse onto my bed. See, it's quite strange actually. Normally this is where I would call the episode and like end it. But it's only been 5 minutes and I feel like that's quite too short. I feel like that's really too short. If I'd known that we weren't going to be going in Haneko's room, or like even spending time with Hanako, I probably would have continued it on in the last episode. But I thought we were actually genuinely going to have a nice time with Hanako, you know. But wow, something, you know, it's really on her mind, you know. But let's just continue, let's carry on. Once again, Hanako doesn't turn up for class. Try as I might to concentrate on other matters, the fact continues to distract me throughout the entire school day, and even as I walk through the school gardens to the dormitories. I don't think today being her birthday is a coincidence either. Oh, it's her birthday. Well, happy birthday, Hanako. I know you don't seem too keen on it, but still, happy birthday. I don't know the link between the two events though, nor do I have any idea on what she's feeling. Were it physical pain, I could at least provide some limited comfort. With something like this though, I have no idea where to start. I run the people I know through my head, thinking about whether they could help. Suzune and Misha don't know that much about Hanako, and what little they do know, they can't tell me. The same for the nurse. In the end, there's only one person that knows Hanako well and would be willing to tell me anything. Who's that then? Because the only person I can think of is Lily and she's not here. Entering my dormitory room, I notice something that takes me off guard. It's starting to feel familiar. With everything that's going on around me, I'm thankful that this room started to finally be somewhere I can relax a little. When I'd first entered Yamaku, it felt immediately foreign in every way, from the untouched neatness to the way it smelled. Focusing back on the task at hand, my voice is quickly going, so let me just quickly get a drink. Where did I put my bottle of water? Here is my bottle of water. Oh, that's much better. Oh, I think when you just talk for so long, your voice starts to go. Focusing back on the task at hand, I throw my bag onto the bed as I open the top drawer of my desk. Before she left, Lily told me the number to call her on while it's gone. So it is Lily then, okay. Because I could only think of Lily, I literally couldn't think of anyone else. And I wrote it down. In hindsight, I wonder if she knew something like this could happen. Now that she's out of reach, I realise just how much both Hanako and I have relied on her for guidance. I dig around drawer after drawer, looking for the damned piece of paper. Eventually, thankfully, I find it nestled under a borrowed library book. I probably should have just entered directly into my cell phone. Come to think of it, without further ado, I enter the numbers and anxiously press the call button. Eventually the phone picks up. A feminine voice I don't recognise on the other end. It's probably Lily's mother. Whoa, what the fuck? It's like, I would say I thought the game had a bug or something, but because that's there, so Sato. Oh, it's English. That's why he can't understand it. So it's English. Oh, okay. English? Suddenly finding myself unprepared, I realize I can't understand a word she says, either due to my limited vocabulary or her heavy accent. I should have anticipated this, since according to Lily, her mother's a native Scot. Oh, I could have the conversation for her then. I soldier on in the hope that she must know some Japanese, considering it's her daughter's native language. It's Hisao Nakai speaking. An enthusiastic sound of realization can be heard as she recognizes the language. My feeling of relief is immense. Oh, so now it's so Lily's mum. We've got to put a Scottish accent on for it because it's Lily's mum. I literally. You must be one of Lily's friends from school, correct? Even so, her accent makes it hard to concentrate to work out what she's saying. I have to concentrate to work out what she's saying. Yes, that's right. Pleased to speak with you, Miss Satao. It's so nice of her to find someone so polite. Lily, dear, it's for you. Her mother seems nice, if a little over-enthusiastic given the mundane situation. There's a small silence as Lily takes her time getting to the phone. In the distance, I can just make out her mother scolding her playfully for just getting up. Hello, Lily speaking. You sound awful. She makes a sound somewhere between a dying animal and a yawn. The one thing I did remember to check before calling was the time zone. It'd be pretty late in the morning over there, so she really has no excuse. Not feeling well? Just tired. What time is it there? Late afternoon. School finished for the day not long ago. Hanako's not well, is she? That was quick. My assumption that she must have known something like this could have happened seems to have been on the mark. How did you know? Because today is her birthday. I'd hoped she might have gotten at least a little better after coming to know you, but... How is she right now? She missed school today and yesterday. I still have to check up on her today. To be honest, after seeing how she was when I talked to her yesterday, I'm pretty anxious. I really have no idea what to make of it. Has this happened in the past? Is it related to her scarring in some way? Unfortunately so. Roughly the same thing happened last year when her birthday came up. As far as I can tell, it's because her parents died in the accident that caused her scarring, and Hanako blames herself for their deaths. Aww. What she says does seem to make sense. If she's blaming herself on her birthday, she may as well be ruining the day she was ever born. Hanako had mentioned her stay in the orphanage to me. Maybe I should take some to heart that she trusts me enough to tell me such a thing. Lily seeming to be so in the dark about it though, almost to the extent that I am, is a surprise. So, that's why she lives in the student dormitories as well? Has she told you any more about the accident? As close as we've become, she's very barely told me anything about what happened. What I know is largely conjecture. She sounds depressed, almost defeated. Considering the trauma Hanako must have gone through, I really can't fault Lily for not knowing. Nevertheless, she still seems to consider it a personal failing. Don't blame yourself, Lily. With everything she's gone through. There's a long silence on the other end of the line. I begin to wonder if the call cut out before the voice at the other end speaks once again. There is another person, though, that has been a subject of worry for me as well lately. Fuck me, the music's quite loud. I don't know if, I'm hoping you can hear me nice and still, Oh? I run through the people she could be talking about in my head. The only friends she seems to have kept very close are Hanako and me, though there is Akira as well. That person is you, Hisao. There is another silence on the line, but this time it's caused by me. Making others worry about me is something I've very actively tried to avoid since coming to Yamaku. Indeed, even my interaction with Hanako has helped stave off any major health problems, thanks to our relaxed and slow-paced lives. what is there to worry about over me? I apologize, I didn't mean any offense. Sorry, I was just taken a bit off guard. Still, isn't Hanako a bigger problem at the moment? For some time now, I've thought that both of you might be feeding into each other's more worrying habits. I've tried to amend this before leaving, but it seems to have done little. Worrying habits? When I asked you what you had in mind for the future, your answer was very similar to what Hanako has said in the past when the question was posed to her. It is well and good that you want to protect her, but I fear that treating Hanako like this as if she was a daughter or something in need of special care is only going to achieve the opposite. The situation got effectively turned on its head. After everything that's happened, this is the first time I find myself doubting Lily's judgment. Hang on a sec. So, shit. Basically, what Lily's telling us is that we might be like, we're doing too much for Hanako. Maybe we're treating Hanako as like a daughter, and like instead of letting her take things as herself, we're trying to help her avoid things, and it's not actually good for her. Which I can agree with. It's not that good, but I don't know. Like it's kind of difficult because I don't know. I'm looking at these choices. Trust my own judgment or agree with Lily. But like, see, the thing is, someone asked me, someone I know that watches my videos, someone asked me, how do you like make your choices? Like, because what we can see on the screen is there's like a tick box for previous choices. And I was warned about this by my friend, and because I said I wanted to play the game my own way and not make the same choices as he has just because he made those choices, because I want to see how it turns out the way I do it, I literally have taken a picture right now, and I'll put it up like about now, and I'll show you what I do every time a choice comes up. It is so silly, but it does like really help me choose my own answers. But trust my own judgment or agree with Lily. Holy shit, I'm gonna agree with Lily just because I think I agree with Hisao in the sense like that I understand why he wants to protect her and why we want to protect her, but Lily is making probably a good point. I feel like we might be doing too much. So plus we've been not really doing a lot for ourselves. I mean, we're just trying to kind of put Hanako before ourselves, so I'm gonna agree with Lily. I don't want to admit it, but she may have a point. Something else bugs me though. And you tried to amend this? Wait, our outing into the city? Quite astute. I thought that it may help if I dragged both of you out of Yamako and into the wider world. I am thankful you came closer for it though. So she noticed that. I suppose she may as well have been paying attention to us, and her hearing is incredibly good. Quite likely good enough to have picked up what we were talking about if she tried. This sounds more and more like you were trying to manipulate us. Silence. It's a harsh way of putting it, but I have no intention of stepping back from those words. I'm sorry. I was just worried about you. It's fine. I guess there are more important things anyway. It's not a total surprise that she'd do such a thing. Her motherly nature can be slightly overbearing at times, but she does have the best of intentions. So you think I should think more about myself, more instead of trying to cater to Hanako? That largely sums it up. Again, I am sorry for not telling you this in a much clearer way before going behind your back. I know I am at least as guilty of being overprotective of Hanako as you, but I fear that you are neglecting yourself in your efforts to give Hanako happiness. Do you really think Hanako will be okay? She isn't as fragile as you think. I don't know exactly what experiences she's lived through, or what feelings she has in her mind, but she's managed to work her way through them until now. It is also my hope that giving her a little space will allow her to decide what she truly wants for herself, and give her the initiative to reach out for it. Please have faith in Hanako, that's all I ask. I guess I'll think about it for a while. That's good. Being rash won't get you anywhere. I know that at times you may doubt your relationship with Hanako. Oh, bloody hell, sorry. I had like gas and just come out of nowhere and try and escape. Like, you know how it happens where it just comes out of nowhere. I'm going to rewrite that line again. I know that at times you may doubt your relationship to Hanako, but she does... Lily cuts herself off and takes a moment to reconsider her words. Please keep in mind that I wouldn't have befriended you if I hadn't thought you were fundamentally a good person. You're a good friend both to myself and Hanako. Thank you, that helps. We share some small talk to try and lighten the atmosphere, but it feels very stilted. There's a lot I don't know about Lily's stay in Scotland, but after such a heavy subject, I want to be alone to think for a bit. After a few minutes, we end up saying our goodbyes, and I set my phone down on my desk. Compared to Hanako's situation, mine feels utterly mundane. I still have both of my parents. I had a reasonably normal childhood, and unlike many in Yamaku, my condition isn't immediately visible to the public. But then again, isn't this just an attempt to justify the way I've been acting towards her? That may well be in our past, that may well be what our past were like, but when it comes to the future, I still have no idea what I want to do. In school, I've just concentrated on each day's work, and I've put off more and more things just to cater to Hanako. I recall the words Muto told me after Hanako's breakdown. After the purpose of Yamaku in my education. Not after. In hindsight, he was probably trying to push the exact same thing. Just what have I been doing in the time since my heart attack? If I ever did manage to get Hanako out of her room and to open up, what then? I look out of my dormitory window as the sun slowly sets. It's a nice sight, but what I really savour is the quiet as the students return to their dormitory rooms. All I want to do now is think. I'm not sure how much time I have, but I want to work out where I'll go from here. Okay guys, that is going to be the end of the episode, and it was quite an insightful one actually. I think I hadn't even noticed it until Lily had brought it up actually. But yeah, we have actually been like not doing what we should be doing, like not pushing ourselves as well, and kind of being really lazy actually in order to cater to Hanako. But Lily pointed it out, and I think it looks like maybe we'll make a change in that. But anyway guys, I guess we're going to be start doing that in the next episode.